Hey everyone, it's Mr. Oda. In today's video lesson, we're going to be talking about topic 4.4, Earth's atmosphere. In this topic, we're going to be describing the structure and composition of the Earth's atmosphere. And for your skill, you're going to be able to describe characteristics of environmental concepts, processes, or models. And in this case, we're going to be looking at a lot of these concepts in visual representations. To start, we want to talk about what the atmosphere is made up of. And the atmosphere is made up of a mix of different gases. The majority of the atmosphere is made up of nitrogen, which is 78%. Oxygen is actually only 21% of the atmosphere. And the other 1% is a mix of different elements. We have trace elements of argon, xenon, neon, hydrogen, helium, krypton, and such. Now, when you're talking about the atmosphere, there are many different layers that make up the atmosphere. It's a blanket of air covering the Earth from the ground. Now, starting from the bottom to where we are, all the way to into space, you have the troposphere, which is generally from around 0 to about 20 kilometers above the surface. And of course, that depends on what location you're at. So, for example, if you're on top of a mountain, it's not going to be as far. And this is where all weather happens. So, rain, sleet, hurricanes, all those things happen within the troposphere. Once you go past that, you get to the stratosphere, which is 20 to 50 kilometers above the surface of the Earth. Above that is the mesosphere. Above that is the thermosphere. And then once you're getting closer into space, you get to the exosphere. Now, the main difference between all these different layers of the atmosphere is actually the temperature, and the temperature changes drastically when you go through these layers. To start at the surface, the air is most dense near the surface. That's again where you have weather and wind. And temperature decreases as you go up to the top of the troposphere because the air gets much thinner. When you're in the stratosphere, there's actually a rise in the temperature. As you can see in this graph, the temperature goes down as you go up the troposphere. When you get into the stratosphere, it actually goes up. And that is because in this area, you have what's known as the ozone layer. Since the ozone layer is here absorbing radiation from the sun, there's a big temperature increase over here. When you get into the mesosphere, the temperature drops again because the atmosphere is very thin. And inside the thermosphere, because it's getting closer to space, it's receiving a lot of the UV and X-ray radiation. So temperature rises. And again, the air is very thin because we're getting closer into outer space. And the temperature is going to continue to rise as you go out. Now, these are just some images to highlight what I just said. Again, the ozone layer is somewhere in the middle of the stratosphere. That's where you're going to see a big increase in temperature. And that's because the ozone layer absorbs a majority of the radiation from the sun. This image shows you a couple of different things to help you remember the different layers and also what you'll see in those layers in terms of, for example, commercial jets and planes will usually fly at the top of the troposphere above clouds. So for any of you guys who have traveled by plane, you'll notice that the plane goes up and coasts above the clouds to avoid any dangerous weather. Now, to practice with this, we're going to look at a couple multiple choice questions. The first question is, the layer of the atmosphere where hurricanes and tornadoes occur is the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, or thermosphere? Take a second to try to answer that. For the second question, ozone molecules warm the blank as they form. Hopefully you got that one. For the third question, this layer of Earth's atmosphere contains the fewest molecules of the layers shown, and the low density of gas leads to very few molecules transferring heat to an object. In this layer, Ultraviolet radiation causes photodissociation of molecules, creating ions. The next question, in which of the following atmospheric layers does weather most occur? Hopefully, you're able to get that. And for the final question, which of the following best explains why the lower portion of the troposphere is warmer than the upper portion? Why is the temperature down here higher than when you get to the top of the troposphere? Okay. Hopefully, you were able to get those answers. Hopefully, this lesson helped you. If you have any questions, please ask them in class. And I will see you in the next video lesson. Take care.